In this video, I will be recapping Marvel's What If. Spoilers ahead. It starts off with the Watcher saying that time, space, and reality is in a linear path. He also says that it's a prism of possibilities. The Watcher looks between every universe and what happens in them. And I think he is Uatu on Earth 6232, according to the Marvel database. It starts off with the day Earth, June 1943. And I know Earth is not a date, and this episode is going to focus on Peggy Carter becoming a girl Captain America. The Nazis are invading Europe. Next, it shows what happened in the first Avenger. Steve gets the super soldier serum and continues showing that he became Captain America and how he froze and saved humanity as a sacrifice. But in a different universe, Peggy Carter becomes Captain America. But when Peggy Carter preferred to stay, that is what made a new universe. Then the Watcher says soon she would be venturing into the unknown and creating a new world. Then Peggy notices that someone is about to explode the place. She tries to stop it, but it is too late. The remaining are Howard, Peggy, Steve, and Flynn, who is a colonel. While Steve is running to the person who exploded the place, he gets shot, falling to the ground. The guy takes the serum, but Peggy shoots the guy who stole it. Then we see that Steve is still alive, but seriously injured. Flynn is asking Steve to go in, then Peggy replies he can't. Then he asks Howard, which Howard replies with I'm the button guy. Now this is when it starts. Peggy uses the super soldier serum. Flynn is saying that Howard shouldn't turn it on, but Howard turns it on. Then Flynn says that it was an absolute failure and girls went soldiers. Next it shows Peggy punching a punching bag. Then she hits her across the room. Steve says nice left hook, but Peggy calls Flynn a weapons grade moron. Then we see Peggy throwing a weight. Then we get a better view showing a bunch of weights stuck at the wall. In the comments, write down where you think the weight of the weights are. Not combined, but just one. Steve says that Flynn might send Peggy on a USO tour, wearing a crazy costume, being told to smile 10 times a day. Then Peggy starts to worry. Steve says that Bucky deployed in the 107, and the army won't tell Steve where he is going. Then it shows the Nazis in Tonsberg, Norway. I think that's how you say Tonsberg. Then Flynn asks that the Nazis were in Norway. The Nazis came for the Tesseract, the jewel of Odin's treasure. While Red Skull is trying to find it, a guy says that it's just a legend. Then Red Skull found the Tesseract and the Nazi killed the guy who said it was a legend. Then Flynn calls both Howard and Peggy crazy for trying to go there. We see Peggy drinking something. Then Howard comes in to say drowning your troubles. Then he says Flynn's a moron, lucky for you, I'm a genius. Then he hands Peggy her USO suit. Then Howard says he made a few upgrades. Then Howard gives her seal with the United Kingdom flag. That's being different from Steve's because his is the American flag on his seal. It then shows the Nazis in Arnhem Zola. One of them gets hit by Peggy's seal, with another one also falling. Then they say in German, we are being ambushed. Peggy runs to the jeep and flips it. Then she does it to another jeep, but people come out from the front window. Then knocks two people on a two-person bike. Then another two-person bike gets exploded by Peggy, and then some more. Then she knocks out some soldiers. Then a bulky soldier comes out and cracks his neck. Then he says that she's a fragile foreline. I think I said that right. Then she knocks him out in 3 moves. Then she gives the Tesseract to Flynn. Flynn replies with, "Is this nuclear?" Howard then says, "You are ready to join the war effort, Steve." Then Steve nods in approval. Then, well, he kind of didn't nod, but he had to smile, so I guess he's in. Then Peggy says he owes her a dance. Then she pushes a Nazi and steals his bike and goes to a prison. Then she runs over people and explodes her bike on people. And those people are Nazis. Then she goes to the cells and freeing the 107th, but I don't see anyone apart from the 107th on screen. Then everyone is shocked when she opens the cell with her strength and says she is called Captain Coiter. Everyone then comes outside the prison and Peggy blocks the tank bullet. They hide behind the walls and Peggy is calling air support with Steve. And Steve comes to the battlefield with an ironmonger like suit, but they call it a Hydro Stomper. Then Peggy and Steve start destroying tanks, and Steve's suit has a zapping thing, and they did free everyone. So hooray! Bucky says you can't even drive a car. Then a montage of Peggy knocking out Nazis begins. I think it might be a commercial. I don't know if there were Nazis. When did the first TV ever come out? Oh. Then Peggy gets on the Hydro Stomper and they fly and destroy Nazi planes. Then it shows the Nazis in the area where Red Skull found the Tesseract. And the Red Skull takes off the mask and everyone says Hail Hydra. It then shows Peggy and Steve about to kiss, but then interrupted by Howard, who came up at the window, then shows Bucky on a jeep. Well, stole the jeep. Then it looked like the episode ended, but it was a transition. Then they're in a snowy place, and a train is there. Steve is trying to make the train go slower or stop it for Operation
Where Eagles Dare.
All of them get on the train and Bucky almost falls. Then when Steve gets inside the train, he finds the bombs that explode. But he didn't escape. He may have died. Also, Bucky died in the first Avenger, but he was in Captain America and the Winter Soldier. He might be alive or dead. We find out that Red Skull has been taking cover at a place called Castle the Quake in the Black Forest. I think I said that right. And the 107th are in. For Steve. Then they start to invade Castle the Quake in the Black Forest, which I'm gonna call Castle the Quake. I'm not gonna add the Black Forest part. Then she presses a button letting her team in the fight. And everyone knocks out some soldiers and everyone splits up. Howard and Peggy are going one way and everyone else and Bucky goes another way. Then we see Hydra making a portal with the Tesseract. On Bucky's team's way, they see the Hydra Stomper, so it is indestructible. Howard and Peggy go to the room Red Skull is in, and the portal brings Kraken tentacles, which then crushes Red Skull, which is different from the first Avenger, because he traveled to Vormir to give the Soul Stone to Thanos, and also Hawkeye for for Black Widow sacrificing, so he would get the Soul Stone. Then Bucky's team discovers Steve is alive, and Peggy discovers the tentacles grow. Then one of the tentacles grabs Peggy and hits her to the wall, but then Steve grabs the sword and cuts the tentacle. Then the tentacles go back in the portal, but not completely. Then Steve comes into the rescue with the Hydra Stomper, with Howard saying, I told you it was indestructible, but the tentacles grab him and the energy goes to half of it. And another one, I'm not sure what it is. Hey Howard, I thought you said this thing was indestructible. Well, the tentacles make a noise that makes everyone block their ears. And here it is. Then Peggy makes a sacrifice going in the portal and making the place an explosion. Then we see the Tesseract is not destroyed. And Steve sits sadly about Peggy and the dance that Peggy was gonna go with him. Then we see the portal is opened again and slices of the tentacle come out and Peggy gets out. So hooray! She didn't age. Then we see Nick Fury and Hawkeye, or maybe a different Hawkeye, but she gets shocked that the war ended 70 years ago. And her final line in the episode, we won the war. Okay, she didn't die though. It was like for the episode, that was her last line in the whole episode. Now let's compare the ending to the first Avenger. So let's do it. So the first thing is that both of them didn't age in the first event. Steve didn't age, and in this, Peggy didn't age. But they sacrificed in different ways. Steve got frozen, and Peggy got into a portal. Make sure to like and subscribe, and see you in the next video. Also, comment that you subscribe, and I'll try my best to reply to them. Finally, the 29 plus a minute episode is complete. This video recording took way too long and too many tries.